So hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm okay. So what did you think of the Super Bowl?
Well,
The halftime show. I know you didn't watch the game. I
oh,
know
I
that.
was going to say I didn't know who got a birdie or a hole in one or whatnot, but I heard the volleyball was very riveting. However, the Super Bowl halftime show, the only enjoyable part was Mary J. Blige. I was very confused. It just seemed like they had a line of trucks around the stage or that were the stage. It's just like somebody pulled up a little kid train and everybody said, let's perform on it. I was like, why can't we have a set or a stage? What is this, honey?
It was very LA. I think anyone who's like, in Cali, they would have appreciated it, I think.
I'm in California and things aren't that poorly put together out here, but maybe further south they are because there is just an air of laziness out here that I haven't seen on the East Coast. Well, maybe in the South, but not in the Northeast. I'll have to say that.
Not shading the South.
Look, I got to call it like I see it.
Okay, fair. Um, what did I think about it? I thought that Mary was good. Dre and Snoop, I mean, it was okay. I really love Kendrick Lamar. I think he was one of my favorites because he always like performs. Like he's a rapper that actually like does choreo. He has a concept. It's just not him out there with a mic just saying, the
Too
lyrics.
afraid to dance because, oh my God, I look gay.
Right.
I mean,
Listen,
that's what makes a Jay-Z show so boring. You're just watching a camel standing there chewing cud. Honey, at least Beyonce will get out there and dance like she wrote that song.
you shady today.
Oh, yes.
um, who else was on there? Oh, 50 Cent, the surprise cameo.
Now, let's talk about his pregnancy. Now, first and foremost, somebody wanted to say, are people fat shaming 50 Cent? You can't fat shame someone who has held others to the same unrealistic standards. So when people celebrate Lizzo for not adhering to those standards, nobody's fat shaming her. We're celebrating her. 50 Cent has held people to those standards. So now we're simply putting the shoe on the other foot. We are giving the gander what the gander has given the goose. So in no way are we fat shaming, but you worthless, you got out there looking 4 months pregnant, arms just as swole. I mean, you were giving full on grandma with diabetes. I was like, somebody get the towel off the stove. Somebody get the towel off the stove.
I think he deserves all of the all of the comments, all of the jokes. I mean, he's usually the first one.
I mean, and then also he had on one of those man bra t-shirts with a girdle underneath and a whisper of Spanx. It's like, honey, you couldn't have just worn something for your size. You really wanted to get out here and pretend you were still in your 20s?
Yeah, he looked very swollen. I'm really surprised they like were able to suspend him upside down like that.
That is not good for his blood pressure.
I know, like all that fat just coming down to your brain.
And
Ooh,
that brain's already fatty.
yes.
Something wrong with it.
I didn't mind Eminem. Like I enjoyed Eminem back in the day. He even took a kneel. Like Eminem is like, for the people, I think, and whether you like him or not, he's still like one of the greatest rappers of all time.
It is so depressing to look at Eminem because he is the face of the opioid crisis. And what I mean is his face is an opioid crisis. It has just melted and slid off the skull. You can tell they got to cake them on with make. It's heartbreaking.
He looks exactly like Mariah Carey when she imitated him in the Obsessed video. Like exactly like that. I wish he gets a stylist or something, like switch it up. He has too much money for that. He's worth at least like maybe 200 million.
I'm sure. But you can't do anything with that face. So I could see him not caring about the rest of
As far as Mary's performance, I enjoyed it, but the set list, it could have been better. Like, how you not do Real Love?
You know what? Mary said, okay, I'm gonna give you new music because you ain't giving me Real Love money.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. Like, she wasn't getting paid for the Super Bowl, but I don't think
Ooh,
any artist gets paid for the Super Bowl.
I know why she didn't do Real Love, because she did music that she'll actually get paid for when people go to look it up on iTunes. She did Real Love when she was with Diddy, so you know she ain't getting shit. Not shit.
That is a very good point. Maybe that was it.
She said, you think I'm paying him? Nah, we good.
Now, that mic was on, though. I think she did a good job, but you know that meme now where she's just on the floor like this, and she's like, ah, and just falls out. It was a lot, but you know, the internet is quick. There were so many memes.
I mean, the point is everybody's talking about her performance. Nobody's panning it. So her music went up on iTunes and Spotify. Everybody listened to her old and her new. So, hey, that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not getting memed about, you're not important. Ain't nobody talking about you.
And speaking of music rising up the charts, did you see that Nicki Minaj was really angry that her song didn't go #1?
She said, I don't have to be #1. I don't have to hit #1. I am #1. Now, for years, it's all about #1, queen. But now it's just, oh, I can be #2 and still #1. Girl, your barbs are aging out. I would say I'd give her shelf life another 2 to 3 years before the barbs are like now in their 20s, and that's nostalgia music to them when they were in high school.
She gets on my nerves because she always like trying to move the goalposts. So when she was beefing with Remy Ma, it was like, oh, it's sales, it's like plaques, it's like, you know, numbers. Because you know Remy Ma could go toe to toe with her on the skill level. But when it's Cardi, someone who has 5 #1s, as well as a Grammy or 2, I don't know. But yeah, with Cardi, it's more so like, oh, I'm still #1 because I'm the best. Okay, whatever. She's mad that those little popcorn singles that she released, 2 at the same time, by the way, both mediocre. It came in at #2, and then #1 was still that Disney song, We Don't Talk About Bruno from.
Oh,
What is she gonna do now? Like, first she's saying, oh, now it's payola, like it's Billboard.
wait, we don't talk about Bruno beat Nicki Minaj. That's been out for a minute.
Yeah, it still beat her.
It's still, ooh, girl, oh, the barbs is slipping. Girl, you better cuss them out like you Mary Crosby. The Beehive would never. Well, they actually did with their last album, but never mind.
I'm having a good day. I'm not even about to go toe to toe with you. Moving on. Did you see that Monique is now officially a part of Love and Marriage DC? Like, they had like a little promo for it. She's looking stunning. And now that, like, she's going to be the focal point of the show. And it's executive produced by Carlos King.
Girl, Monique, I am a big fan of you. Watch out for Sissy King.
I've heard that.
That is an underhanded, backbiting, low down, scheming sissy. Honey, if I saw him, I would cross the street. Don't trust no bare ankle sissy ever. They got too much shit with them. I'm telling you now. He's the one who told Phaedra to say that Candy was going to drug Portia.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what supposedly happened. And then he mysteriously disappeared from Bravo for several years, and then started these little upstart shows on OWN, which are good, but we gonna be honest, the pay, you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars less.
Well, I still think Monique won in this case because now, like, she left the show for another show, like, that's produced by Carlos King, who at least gives good drama. I do think she needs to watch out for him, but, you know, she's now the focal point of her own show. I think it's her show now.
It's her-ish show. We'll see how, we'll see if she's an executive producer or a producer. But I just feel like this is out of the frying pan into the fire, because dealing with Bravo is like dealing with a serial killer. Dealing with Carlos King is like dealing with a demon.
Serial killer or demon?
A serial killer you can kill. You can kind of figure out what they're doing. A demon, oh, nobody wants to deal with that. That's just evil through and through. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I have been looking for a relationship, and it takes a lot of work, but I'm also realizing, why am I not focusing on the relationship I have with me? And one of the great questions my BetterHelp therapist got me to ask myself was, do you want to end up happy, or do you want to end up just married? I said, oh, I had you check me on that one. This is why I go to BetterHelp, so that I can start making better decisions for myself rather than just running around without the tools needed to make decisions at different phases in life, because 39 did not come with the handbook. And I'm betting what age you are didn't come with the handbook either. So let's treat ourselves to better treatment with BetterHelp. And BetterHelp has all different kinds of therapists. So if you need to find something specific where you're dealing with gay and lesbian issues, you're dealing with grief, you're dealing with career stress, BetterHelp has the therapist that will help you, because I've definitely seen a few.
And BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. Pop Roast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our Pop Roast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/roast. That's BETTERHELP.com/roast. And speaking of Potomac, have you heard the rumors that Candiace was fired?
Yes. Oh, let's talk about it. Okay, so here is the blind item. And I think the reason why everybody's considering it to be about Candiace is the subject is dragged off the cast. This problematic East Coast housewife, who has been on the show for a few seasons, now is rumored to not be getting her contract renewed for the new season. With filming slated to begin within the next month or so, producers have finally recognized that the trouble she has caused and has gotten herself into has not been a good look for the overall franchise. Along with the added pressure from many opinionated fans calling for her termination, the clear as day fact that she will never own up to her share of mistakes, and to the high probability that she will continue to cause and get into more unnecessary trouble, it is said that producers and the network are already looking for her replacement and are already toying with some new ideas, including testing the waters of some new women recommended by the current already returning cast, with the promotion of Friend of from last season. They said East Coast, so it ain't Dallas or OC or Beverly. It could be Ramona Singer, although Ramona's an OG, not just a few seasons, but she has been causing trouble. We take it down to Potomac. Sounds awfully like Candiace Dillard.
Yeah, she's such a polarizing figure, because the people that like Candiace, they actually like Candiace, they love her.
Like a Barb.
Yeah, and you're a hater or a colorist if you don't like Candiace, which is ridiculous to me. But anyway, I don't care. I wouldn't mind her not being back. There's a lot of people that's saying that she brings the drama. She's responsible. They need her for the ratings. And I'm like, well, I think y'all are overestimating what Candiace brings. Like, unless she's like pregnant, what's her storyline besides her mom or her husband?
Right. She doesn't have good relationships with the other women. We're tired of her childish behavior. We still have not seen her grow up. I'm concerned about her pregnancy because I feel like that marriage is hanging on by a thread, and I don't think a Band-Aid baby would be the solution.
Mm-hmm. And even if she had a baby by him, I mean, what child support she gonna get?
Oh, well, her mom will send her a check.
Well, yeah, but at least get something out of it if you're going to get divorced.
I can see them getting divorced without a child. Chris is tired of her.
Yeah. She's a lot. She is a lot. And I used to like Candiace at first. She wasn't playing with the OG. She came for Charisse. She came for Giselle and Robin. But I don't know, it was something between season 3 and season 4. Like by the end of season 4, that's when I was like, I'm not rocking with Candiace anymore.
You know why? She never evolved. Now, we got to watch Karen glow up. Even Rob Dixon, got her little caps together. I mean, can't keep her man on camera with her. Just stop inviting Juan. Juan camera shy. But Candiace never evolved. It was always the same. It went from, okay, this is a sprightly young woman to, honey, you over 30 now. It's time to get a little more mature with your arguments. And then with Monique, it was, okay, it was Monique's fault. No, it was Candiace's fault. However you want to see it, that's fine. The fact that another physical altercation happened with her the next year, it's just like, I think it's you, sweetie, because Monique wasn't here. So you can't, Monique was completely evaporated from the equation. There was no Nique. So, but yet there's still physical altercations. I think she just don't like people taller than her.
Well, that's a lot of people not to like. I just noticed a lot of her stands bring up the double standard, like with Jennifer on Jersey, like how she has a mouth or Margaret has a mouth and they cut each other to the white meat, but it's okay for them, but it's not okay for Candiace to do that. So what would you say to people that try to bring up that argument?
I really don't think that it's what Candiace is saying. I think that it's that Candiace will pick up a knife and throw it across the room. I think that it's Candiace will tussle. And we've seen her get almost into a tussle with Ashley. We saw the tussle with Monique. We saw the tussle with Mia. I don't think it's words. I think it's she is the one that gets things physical. It's not just words.
So you're saying she provokes?
She provokes and then she will threaten violence. I don't care if you pick up a butter knife in my house. That's still insane.
You can't threaten violence and then go to police afterward.
Right.
Well, like you can't be bucking up on me and then go run to the cops when I like knock your ass out, But
and I know that would be a clean knockout. Please make sure that is on video because I want to watch that. I'd be like, I'm not surprised.
And I think if anybody gets into a fight with me, they're going to ask, okay, what did the other person do to Chris?
I would be like, what did they do?
Not give me my sauces.
If it ever happens in a McDonald's, I'll just be like, wait, no, I got the bail. It's fine. It's fine. And I will show up with nuggets and a whole thing of sauce.
Child, so I know you're gonna roll your eyes at this story, but Monique is in the headlines again. A different Monique, Precious Monique.
And still talking about it.
So she was interviewed by T.S. Madison, shout out to her. They were talking about the Tyler Perry Oprah feud.
Wait. Madison finally got Monique on the show, remember?
Yeah.
Remember? Oh my God. Okay, because I was wondering who the hell would interview Monique for this old ass moldy tea? But now I understand this was 2, 3, 4. Actually, we've been doing the show for 4 years. They went off the air before us. So this was half a decade in the making. I am so glad them girls got together. That's what I'm talking about. It may not be today and it may not be tomorrow, but I'm going to make it.
So according to the Queen of Comedy, Tyler Perry agreed to meet with her under 2 conditions. She'd have to come without her husband, manager Sidney Hicks, and she'd also have to apologize for accusing him and Oprah of blackballing her or being responsible for the demise of her career. I mean, I think that's fair.
I don't feel that anybody tried to blackball Monique. I think they just wanted her to get an apology and to get away from that husband. That husband blackballed her. That husband, like Kevin Williams, he, was inappropriate and unprofessional with vendors and people that had business opportunities. So that will blackball you if that's your manager.
So this is what she had to say to that. I feel like I want to talk. I feel like I want to talk. Ugh, ugh. I feel like I want to say this in Monique's voice because it sounds like something she would say. Oftentimes, when it comes to a Black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies. Then once she dies, then we go back and say, well, she was right. And let's make a movie about it. She continues and says, people ask me, do you dislike or hate Oprah and Tyler and Lee Daniels? No, let me be clear. I love those people. We love those people. My husband and I love them. They're our brothers and sisters. And as my husband always says, Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We're simply calling them up to say, listen, let's make our community better by making it right, not running and hiding by what you consider is your power. I mean, I hope they make amends before somebody leaves the earth. Seriously.
Oh, they are never going to make amends. Now, here's why I say no. Because one, Oprah, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, okay, they have a little power in Hollywood, but they are not the end all be all. They are not, Viacom or CBS, and even they don't have all the power. So you still have a Will Packard to work with. You are Monique. You can produce yourself. Let's not act like you don't have that kind of power. And also, you have had a thriving career since the 90s. I remember you in Fat Girls. So you already have been out here making movies, making moves, getting to the Parkers, doing stand-up. We enjoy you. The audience has been here for you. So what have you put out for us to consume? Because here you are 15, 20 years later, still whining about Precious. You have all this opportunity to get out here and be funny. But the second you got with this Sydney fool, all your career ground to a crushing halt. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna put the blame on Sydney and on you not getting out here and just being funny and still wanting to tell this story over and over again. You was telling this story 5 years ago. Where is your stand-up special? Where is your sitcom? You wanna talk about your blackball? How? You can get on YouTube and make something. You can get on Hulu and make something. You've got way more power and connections than we do. I'm not going to sit around and hear this whining from people with more money, more resources, more fame, and more opportunity than me. Heifer, I ain't hearing it. From an Oscar winner, I ain't hearing it. Instead of flipping what you got to get what you need, you want to sit around and whine. What are you, a white woman?
Well.
I have to call it like I see it. And sometimes I dial direct.
Look, I won't be surprised, because Monique is the type, she will call up Pop Rose and join. And it's like, what was said? What was said? Bring it to the playground. What'd you have to say? Alexander. I can hear. I'm sure you would keep that same energy though.
Oh, absolutely. I would ask her, okay, why aren't you doing your own production? Everybody's doing their own production. For real, for real. Why aren't you? You have the capital. Mm-hmm. We don't hear about you in debt news, so them taxes is paid.
Moving on. So Wendy Williams, did you see the video that came out?
I did. It was good to see her looking well and sounding coherent.
Yes.
But I will say I am concerned for her. Well, we've all been concerned for her. But I saw that this Wells Fargo thing has been sealed. I don't think it should be, and here's why. If there is something negligent going on their part, we're not going to know about it. There's just going to be a settlement out of court. She's going to get her money, but that could affect other people where they might not want to do business with Wells Fargo. So I feel like that might need to be in the open court for everybody to get the information.
Well, I'm sure that was Wells Fargo's incentive then for it to be sealed,
Exactly.
And Wendy don't want nobody all up in her business. So I can see both sides saying we need this case sealed.
I mean, Wendy, we already in your business. It's already on display. Ain't much more of your business to tell.
So in the video, she says, thanks everyone who has been patiently awaiting her return and believe that thanks in large part to the love and support of her son, her family, her new team of doctors, and a change of scenery, she is on the mend. Hopefully, hopefully.
I think it was those black walls.
The black walls, where?
In her apartment. Those black walls was not helping her depression when her coot left her. I'm sorry, when her cheater left her.
Oh. Well, actually, speaking of that, we do have a story on that. Allegedly, her and Kelvin are cool again.
Well, I mean, she needs her handler, her sober coach, her life guide. I firmly believe they had had a conversation. He could do whatever he wanted as long as he kept her propped up. The second he left, it went full Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes. A lot of people that are concerned for Wendy Williams, they say Wendy has no one in her life but Kevin. She never had close friends and hasn't spoken with her staff in months. I could totally see that, like with her and Suzanne, they have like a work thing, but outside of the show, I can't see Wendy like hanging with her.
And I think Wendy didn't have close friends because of her drug issues. She didn't want anybody to know. She wanted to be able to go home, do the 3 little lines that Kevin gives her for the night, and then wait until she films tomorrow. I'm sorry. That's what it seems like was going on. Microdosing. That's what they was doing. They was microdosing. I don't think Kevin was on it, but he'd make sure that she wasn't, just blowing through 8 balls.
Well, I think Kevin was creating an isolation for her, like isolating her from like anybody who tried to get close to her,
I think she did that herself. She never wanted to be around a whole bunch of people. I remember her bragging about not having friends on the after show and saying, it's all about your man. It's all about the family. Like, she was never that girl. She said that out of her mouth several times. They bet you they still got the videos up on YouTube.
But continuing what they were saying, they said after her mom died, Wendy didn't even have a family. All she has in Kevin and the son they shared together. Kevin is back in her life again out of necessity. He might not have treated her right in the past, but when he was in her life, none of this crazy stuff happened. He would never have allowed her bank to freeze her assets and would have made sure Wendy went to work each day.
Yeah, because he kept her sober. That was, her sober coach, her microdose coach, whatever. He, handled her. He managed her. And I think because he was privy to the drug use and they didn't want anybody else to know, that's why they were so isolated. I honestly feel like Kevin had the isolation thrust upon him.
Interesting.
I mean, think about being somebody's sober coach, being somebody's minder. Think about all the sneak overdoses that happen, but because they have access to private hospitals and doctors, we, the public, never found out. Because I'm sorry, you think that was the first time that heifer done fell out? Really? I got a bridge to sell you over here if that's what you believe. I got a red one and a silver one. Which one you want? $5 and they're yours.
Moving on. So the next topic is what we talked about last week concerning the baby, getting into a brawl with his baby mama's brother. Turns out the baby mama's brother is doing the right thing, and he is suing the baby for assault, battery, emotional distress, and more. Bills claims that while the two were both at the bowling alley, he walked past the baby when he was suddenly attacked, leaving him severe injury and pain. Bill says he didn't fight back and is now suffering from physical and psychological damage, plus medical bills and sustained disability. Meanwhile, the baby says he only fought Bills as a result of self-defense and, quote, you shouldn't go around threatening people. I would say get your money, because that's exactly what I would do.
I would say get your money, but I would say be careful with this case because it's your word against his and the footage ain't that good. So you could end up with just a lawyer's bill because they could say, you know what, ain't none of you deserve nothing. Also, what I'm really intrigued by is, was the baby on a step stool, a chair, or a table when he, attacked Danny's brother? Because I know when Danny's brother walked past, the baby's ankle height. So I want to know how he was able to get the jump, or did he just try to bite that Achilles tendon and that bring him down so they could get to scrapping on the floor?
So in the video, they actually had the baby like showing him throwing the first punch, but he missed. He swung and missed at him, and then he had his entourage jump him on like the bowling lane. So everybody was slipping and sliding, throwing punches. And his security guard, was swinging him by his ponytails again, like Mrs. Trunchbull in Matilda. I still can't get that out of my head. Like they was really like grabbing his hair and swinging him.
Well, I guess he's gonna be tender-headed for a minute. He might be able to get something, but with as many lawsuits as the baby has, you're gonna have to stand in line. I feel like he'll end up getting thrown in prison for a few years before you're actually able to get him to cut that check. And then once he goes in prison, he ain't making no money. And also he gets canceled. Didn't he just like lose a whole bunch of money from Coachella because he said some stupid shit about gay people?
Well, the ninjas don't care. Like he still has his niche audience that don't really care what he says because they have the same ideals as he do.
Well, he gonna do something else stupid and mess up a larger bag. He's running to be the next Lil Boosie.
I agree. I really can't stand him. Like I was hoping we would be able to leave him in 2021, but they like roaches. Oh, and speaking of roaches, Julia Fox and Kanye broke up. Do we care? I certainly don't. I know it was a wild ride while she was on it, though. It was a short one.
I mean, I don't know what you would think positive would happen dating Kanye West. Like, I don't know why anybody's dating him at this point. Like, it would be like dating 50 Cent. It's like, this is a piece of shit. They've shown you for 20 years they're a piece of shit. So why are you expecting something new?
I just don't like how Kanye is trying to hide behind, or a lot of people are making the excuse for him that it's mental illness. Like Kanye being an asshole as well as a narcissist isn't due to his mental illness. He just so happens to be an asshole and a narcissist with a mental illness. And that's just my opinion.
I don't know. He seemed nice before his mom died. I feel like it's a psychosis that's causing this behavior. I feel like it's medication imbalance. I feel like some days you're on the meds, some days you're off the meds. That's what I see. I see just somebody that ain't right. And so, they're not that out of it where they're talking to people that aren't there, but they may be feeling things about things that aren't there.
But when is enough enough? Like him, saying all the shit that he said, slavery was a choice, palling around with Donald Trump, putting his wife and children in danger, just saying all their business out right now, trying to put his wife's boyfriend's life in danger because people are crazy.
This to me screams manic behavior. And manic behavior is induced by a manic episode, which he has seemed to be on since his mom passed.
But let's look at the sexism and patriarchy in that. Like, if that's the case, he should be in the same conservatorship that Britney Spears is on, since he has a problem right now.
Well, I don't know why Kim isn't doing that.
He's rich, he's a billionaire. So he feels like he has this God complex in order to do whatever he wants. I don't know. Like, I'm tired of it. I know a lot of people are trying to I know there's this Netflix show that came out. Well, it's a documentary. The first part came out and it's old Kanye. And I will say it's very interesting. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna probably watch it because I love old Kanye. But I know that old Kanye isn't there anymore. So he's done.
And that's a mental T. And it wasn't like he, like Lil Wayne, made money and got out of touch with his own community. I really think this was mental. I think you were always a little bit touch and go. And then when your mom went, that just snapped it. And then you've been trying to get it back together. And it just, you're going to get there one day, hopefully.
I respectfully disagree. Did you hear that they were trying to charge for Versuz?
Well, Versuz ain't cheap. I mean, you at least got to take them out to dinner.
I mean, like versus like for like that was for the culture, like what Swizz and Timbaland said initially.
I heard that and I thought, who's going to pay? Because unless we're getting new music, half of y'all ain't even really singing. Now, I would say when Escape went up against SWV, that was a concert worth paying for. Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle, that was a concert worth paying for. But child, when we had Eve and who is she up against?
Trina.
I knew it was somebody forgettable and irrelevant. Wasn't nobody paying for that.
I can see like paying for to be there in person. But as far as like, them like you paying just to see it, like from your phone or something, like no, no.
I can go on YouTube and we could just do a playlist of one video after the other and it's the same shit.
Right. Like I just wasn't down with that. There was like at first they said it won't be showing on Instagram and it's just going to be shown on the Versuz website. You can watch it for $2.99 or some shit. I don't care if it was 99 cents. Do not charge me for this. You're not. And it was for Anthony Hamilton versus Music Soul Child, which sounds good. I was like a Fairweather fan. Like I'm familiar with some of their music, but I'm not familiar with most of their catalog.
That would have been perfect if they had done it Valentine's Day, but we got to be a day late. And they put it out on the 15th. And I'm like, ain't nobody in the mood for y'all's romance music on the 15th. That's either a pre-Valentine's Day or an on Valentine's Day. We don't want that side chick Valentine's Day. They was like, let's do something for the side chicks. They know side chicks don't get seen till President's Day weekend. That's if you a real side chick. If you get seen on the 15th through the 20th, child, you just...
But there was such a backlash when that note came up that they were going to be charging that they changed it around. They had it on Instagram. Swizz said allegedly he was out the country when that announcement was made. He wasn't in on that. See y'all tomorrow on Insta Versuz TV. He's so lying. He wanted to test the waters and see what happened. And yeah, they think we are stupid.
Exactly. We know y'all tired of dealing with Instagram and they censorship. And we know you would happily take the $3 from everybody and keep it pumping. And I bet you wouldn't pay the artist shit.
Right.
They say, oh, well, you'll get money and exposure through Spotify. And that trickle-down theory bullshit.
Yeah, and according to NDIRE, they don't really make that much money off of these streaming services, especially Spotify. So Whoopi is back at The View. She did not quit. I think it was a good move for Whoopi because if she would have quit and not come back, that would have been her legacy on The View. And it's such an easy job for her. Allegedly, I mean, you heard how much she's making?
How much?
$10 million a year.
That's decent money.
Right. And just for you to go to work in the morning, 4 days a week, leave by noon, and be done.
That's $4 million a year after taxes and expenses.
That's true. That's true. I also think that for the network, if they would have let her go, that would have been a $10 million payout for Whoopi too.
Oh, possibly 20 to 30 because she's not just signed for a year. She's probably signed for 2 to 3.
I think it's a yearly basis because every season you're wondering if Whoopi's coming back. They do it yearly, I think.
Oh, okay.
Again, I don't think she should have been suspended. I just thought it was stupid, but she seemed like, on the show that she was fine. And look, she's a great actress. She's like, Hollywood royalty. She's an EGOT. But again, that $10 million a year looks good. When you acting, Whoopi isn't a box office draw. Like she'll be in a great movie. She'll be like in a supporting role, but not starring. And that's no shade. It's a fact. Like you get paid like what? Maybe $100,000, $200,000 compared to a $10 million payout per year, So it would be like shooting herself in the foot if she left, in my opinion.
I could see that. And also acting on set is a lot more grueling and a lot more time consuming. She's home by noon.
Right. Oh, speaking of TV, have you been watching Big Brother?
I'm getting caught up this weekend.
So, who was the last person you know that was eliminated?
Teddy. So I only know the first one. So don't spoil me.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see what you have to say. I'm already up to episode 9. I need to catch up. It is a lot. That scheming sissy is still in the house, and he gets on my nerves. I think y'all know who I'm referring to.
Oh, you know I know you're referring to fuck you.
Yeah, I saw your review. Like that's his name.
Mm-hmm. I saw him in New York walking down the street in the tackiest fur coat ever, and I thought, all that money and no taste.
I saw him in the strip club. He was like trying to be incognito, and he had like a hoodie on.
Cynthia Nixon thinks fans' reaction to Miranda on Just Like That is bizarre and said the character was never level-headed.
She was the most level-headed out of the 4.
Right, the most responsible. I mean, she bought her apartment first. She wouldn't settle for crap in relationships like Carrie and Charlotte would. She had $15,000 to loan Carrie when she needed to buy her apartment. She was the one who really could take care of herself, the Dorothy's Bornak of the group, if you will.
Yeah, like I just thought it was strange how her character was just fawning over Che Diaz.
And not even that, but like you let your marriage with Steve go to hell yet again. And then you decided to, go on this lesbian journey, but you really think, oh, first one out, we're just it. That is not how this works. That is not how any of this works.
Yeah. Especially in your 50s, like you've been through all the bullshit. They still haven't announced season 2 yet.
Nobody wants it.
No, I think the fans want it because I think it was HBO's most watched original series ever, I think.
Most hate watched, yes. I mean, we all watched the last season of the Game of Thrones, but didn't nobody enjoy that shit?
Look, eyeballs is eyeballs is eyeballs. They can hate watch Pop Rules all they want. We'll be at 200,000 views. Okay, we gonna get. Look, that's all that matters is the eyeballs. Last thing on Sex and the City, like I was watching SJP on Watch What Happens Live. She told Andy all she saw was the first 2 episodes. She hasn't watched like the rest of them yet.
Why would you?
I mean, you still want to see how it all came out. Like, of course, like you know what happened or whatever, but you don't know how you were edited or the other people's story. Like, not everybody is on the same call time.
Once you've memorized your lines, shot the shit, spent all the time making of it, you don't want to see it again. And then also, as an actor, the last thing you want to do is watch yourself and critique yourself over something you cannot go back and fix. It drives you insane.
Maybe that's why I'm insane, because I do it all the time.
Yeah, you're going to have to let that go, hun. The thing is, you're talented enough to.
Well, I'm just a perfectionist sometimes, but especially when it comes to the YouTube thing, because I know it's not my lane. I fell into the lane.
It is your lane. It is your lane. But I'm talking about like with the movie or with the TV show, like something that like you didn't have control over the editing. A lot of times you're just like, I gave my best. I hope it went well. Let's move on to the next project. Because you will drive yourself insane. Why did they do that? I look terrible from this. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
You only watch yourself in a scene study, and you only have like 2 of those. You don't watch the whole movie. You just pick out a scene or 2. That's it. You will drive yourself crazy.
So our last story is Naomi Campbell, made the cover of Vogue, and she has a new baby. And good for her. She has a baby at 50, like Janet Jackson. I know. I had to say Janet Jackson at least once on this show today. But my main thing that stuck out to me is Naomi Campbell says she's encouraging her older friends to have babies. Don't hesitate. I would be like, mind your fucking business. I want to be childless. But thank you, though. Thank you. You're having a baby at 50 who will be 20 years old when you're 70. No, thank you. I have a flight to Greece tomorrow. I don't want a baby.
Really?
No, I'm just saying that for example.
One, Naomi Campbell hasn't aged in the past 30 something years. So already it's like we're dealing with a different gene set here.
I'm not sure if it was a surrogate baby. Not that it matters because it's her kid. She said the kid wasn't adopted, so she said it was hers. So I'm thinking, she wasn't pregnant, but surrogacy probably.
Yeah. Also, her friends are probably like her, incredibly wealthy, where for them having a baby is like getting a cat. It's you can hire a nanny, you send it to boarding schools, like you don't have to be there all the time, and it's paid for.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I had Naomi money, sure, why not? Everybody's got top tier health insurance. Everybody's going on great vacations. When you're rich, it's fine. You've got money for therapy. You've got money for nannies. I can be well rested. You can be well rested. When you're rich, it's fine. When you have a village, it's fine, or can pay for a village, it's fine. It's when you don't have the resources that you need that it becomes an issue.
That's true. So the moral of the story is make more money and your life will be easier.
There is nothing I believe in more.
What happened to money can't buy happiness?
Money cannot buy happiness, but the rich are having a damn good time.
True.
And the problem is basic life expenses are so damn high. It used to be, going on a cruise, having a vacation home. Now it's like, oh my goodness, you have your own apartment? I can't believe it.
You have a dishwasher?
Exactly. You can order DoorDash? What? Now the basics are luxuries.
That's true. Don't even get me started on dating because it seems like the basics there are luxuries too. But on that note, y'all, I will see you sooner than Tyler Perry apologizes to Monique.
And I will see you sooner than Monique lets it go.
It ain't never happening.
Oh, you know what? Then again, who am I to talk about letting it go?
True. Janet Jackson. Bye.